Your team sucks. Live. Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving, George.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, bro. I'm ready to eat some turkey. I'm ready to watch some football. I always love Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Jordan, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Can't wait for Thanksgiving. I'm gonna eat all day and watch football. And we got college basketball starting tomorrow. That's fun too.
Jordan, you're in some kind of competition though to lose body fat though, right? So you're going to take it easy at Thanksgiving a little bit, right?
We haven't started that yet. It's been a lot of talk so far, but we decided to wait till after Thanksgiving. And so since the weigh-in is right after Thanksgiving, I think I got to put on as much as I can beforehand, you know?
Oh, I see. So that's you're just going to eat and get as fat as you can, and that way you'll actually lose more body fat.
Right?
That's really smart, bro. That's like saying, you know what, I'm gonna start smoking before I have a fight, before I start training for a fight. Somehow I'll be better for that. But anyway, good luck with that, Jordan. NFL Week 10 recap. You know, I love the NFL, man. What can you say? But you know who really, really pissed me off this week was the Miami Dolphin fans. What's up with and I'm a huge Miami Dolphin fan, but what the hell are you people doing? I come on this show all the time and I bash Cowboy fans. George gets the brunt of it, right? We mess with George about being a Cowboy, but the Dolphins we're supposed to win anything this year, maybe 5 or 6 games. They're way ahead of schedule. The kid has one bad game, and you would think that he's the worst quarterback that was ever drafted in the history of the NFL. So I just want to say to Cowboy fans, I'm sorry. I found the one damn fan base that's worse than y'all. And that right now is the Miami Dolphin fan base. What the hell is up? Learn football. The kid had one bad game. One bad game. And
3 mediocre games. Yeah.
Jordan, you know what? You might want to learn what complimentary football is. He has the best record of all of the new quarterbacks, right? So you got Burrow. Where's Burrow right now? They had him dropping back, and they weren't running the ball. He dropped back in one game, I believe it was 60 times. Where's Joe Burrow now? Smart organizations don't manage their quarterbacks the way that the Cincinnati Bengals manage him. They weren't going to win anything this year. They weren't going to do anything. The kid was dropping back, I think, an average of 40 to 45 times a game with a bad offensive line in front of him.
They got him killed. I got you.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And if you've watched the Dolphin game, they've been very conservative with Tua. They've only asked him to really, in the Cardinal game, to really open it up a bit, and he played pretty well. He is missing 2 of his starting wide receivers. He had 2 offensive linemen out, plus 2 of his starters are rookies. He's on his 8th running back. And you guys expect him to walk in there and be freaking Peyton Manning in his first 4 games. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. By the way, Jordan, did you see Peyton Manning in his first season? Did you ever watch that? You guys killed Peyton Manning and thought he was the worst quarterback ever in his first season. He wasn't that good. You have to give these young guys time.
A lot of quarterbacks aren't very good. And what I'm saying is they were comparing Tua to the absolute best because they were saying this is the first quarterback in NFL history to win his first 3 starts and throw 0 picks, which is true, but they weren't asking him to do very much, and he should have gotten a lot of passes intercepted. So he was very lucky, and he was very babied, and they still won because of good coaching. Babying him was great coaching. But so was pulling him out after he got sacked 6 times and let the vet take a shot.
What do you want him to do, Jordan? What do you want him to do that would have just blown you away? He held the ball too long in this last game. He got sacked 6 times. One of the knockdowns looked really, really bad, like he could have re-hurt his hip. And then the coach pulled him out. He said it wasn't because of that. But listen, I don't want to get my young quarterback killed.
I have no problem with that. I was saying this after he won 3-2 that he's looked good, but let's hold on. He's not the greatest quarterback ever to come along because he won 3 and hadn't thrown any picks. They didn't ask very much of him.
Nobody on this show said that he was that. They managed
Well,
to.
you guys were sitting here shitting all over my power ratings, telling me how Miami should be top 10. You guys were all buying into this bullshit. They actually made a dumb move this week, and they benched the quarterback. What was the point of benching Tua at the end?
No, that was a great move.
No, you can't tell me you're protecting the quarterback. This is not flag football. This is the NFL. You don't protect your quarterback. You got to protect his You got to protect his mentality. Well, you're right. They don't drop him back 60 times, but you don't pull him out of the game when the game's in jeopardy. You just lost all his confidence. You just pulled all his confidence. The Miami Dolphins were doing everything right, and this week they did everything wrong. And they're going to start paying for it. They're going to start going to the Miami.
I don't think
you're going to see it. This week they get lucky because they get the shitty Jets. Watch the Jets beat them. But they're gonna get lucky because they get an easy game. I watched the game. They should have never pulled out the quarterback. There's no reason to pull him out.
Watch the game. He was not letting the ball go. He was sacked 6 times.
So what? You stick with him.
He had a foot.
You show him that we're gonna stick with you. We're riding with you. You're our guy. But no, now he doesn't know. Am I starting next week? Am I not starting next week?
He said right after the game he was starting him. I have no problem with him pulling him. Vince is more of a gunslinger. He's taken teams downfield before.
So you're saying
one pass away. I have no problem with that.
Two quarterbacks.
Knock one Tua.
How many teams have won running 2 quarterbacks? Tell me any of them. Tell me any team. So you're saying you run this kid and then bring him in. You're going to bring in
What about the undefeated Dolphins? Weren't they running 2 quarterbacks?
We're talking about 50 fucking years ago. Like, let's talk about realistic shit.
The greatest team ever, but just the greatest team ever. But
it's a whole different game.
Nobody other than the greatest team ever.
You have no knowledge of what you're talking about.
One of them got hurt, and they had a backup quarterback. And that team just ran the ball, and that's another point. Is the Dolphins couldn't run the ball. Denver played well. I mean, you have to take your hat off to Denver. I think George made a point last week. He's like, look, somebody's going to get them. They're going to run out. The defense can't score 100 times every game, even though the defense almost scored again. But they're going to have to win games with their quarterback soon. I think that's almost the point that George is making. You're not going to score on special teams every week. You're not going to score on defense every week. They're going to have to let him drop back and throw the ball a little bit more and put some points up. But they did that against the Arizona Cardinals, and he played very, very well.
But against a drive that he could have stayed in and tried to win the drive, they pulled him out. What does that show you? That's no confidence in your quarterback. I don't give a fuck about he might get hurt. He might get hurt.
But he was listed all week with a foot injury.
Okay, and then the coach did say it was performance issue. He was pulled because of performance. That's weak. That's weak.
Of course he said that.
That's weak. You ride with your quarterback. You ride him.
I like Miami a lot more making plays and being a dog than as the favorite, and somebody was going to pop them, and it just happened to happen the first week. I didn't think it would be the Broncos.
Denver has a good defense. They were in Denver, and Denver just got beat down the week before, and they're highly motivated. And it's that time of year where all these teams that have been sucking, like the Cowboys, like the Broncos, like the Texans, all get sick of losing. And when you have athletes of that caliber that lose that much, they're going to show up once or twice, and they're going to play hard, and they're going to win some games. It happened.
I agree.
I think
you got to be excited about Denver too.
You want to see what the Dolphins are all about? You're going to see it this week. It's a division game against the shitty team.
Everybody's all about playing the
Jets. Because you're right. I mean, this is a game that they absolutely are expected to win. Let's see how they do. The Jets were much better last week as well too. All these teams that have been sucking are going to get better. They can't get much worse. So we'll see. We will see what the Dolphins are made of this week, but I totally get why he pulled him out. And the coach did this last year with Josh Rosen. He said, well, I'm going to put whoever I think is going to help us win the game. The guy is playing to win. If the kid loses his confidence over that, then he needs to get in the damn film room, and he needs to let the ball go, and he needs to get better.
How did it work out for Josh Rosen?
Well, no, you can't compare Tua to
How did that work out? How'd that work
You can't
out?
compare Tua to Josh Rosen.
You just did. So I thought I would. You just did, so I thought I would add it in there.
No, I said I'm not comparing the two. I'm comparing the coach's decision making to what
horrible decision. I know you love the guy. It was a horrible decision.
Horrible. He's a great coach. Hey, would you take Brian Flores right now in Dallas if you could trade coaches? You got him right. You would tomorrow.
But that's not the point. My point is he made a horrible decision, and you guys want to keep saying no, it was a smart decision. If Tua comes back and lays an egg again, what happened? You bring Fitzpatrick in, and then what do you got going on? You don't have any. You're actually destabilizing your team right now.
You've got. They're not playing for this year. I think everybody.
Exactly. That's more of a reason to leave them in the damn game. That's more of a reason. That's more of a reason. You just made my point for me.
He got made my point for me. Times and got rolled over on his hip 6 times. And
it's a football game. It's a football game. It's a football game. Get your pussy lineman to protect him. That's all it is. Like every other game.
Joe Burrow about that.
Joe Burrow, they asked him to throw 50 times. They're not asking this kid to throw 50 times. He threw 13 times, something like that.
It's 6
It's a complete apples and oranges, man. Apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges.
Managing your young quarterback in a very smart way, and if getting him killed, man, George, a year ago, the guy had a crazy hip injury, bro.
So what? So what? That's not what you don't play. You don't play like, okay, so now I'm going to play like he's glass. No, you play him as a quarterback. He's your quarterback. You ride with him. You had a chance to win the game, and you took him out of the game. What does that show you for him? You don't trust him.
Gives you the better chance of winning the game there.
You made my point even more. There's no trust. You don't think he's good. You don't think he's that. So you don't believe in him.
But at this point in his career,
you don't believe in him. The coach don't believe in him. How's he going to believe in himself?
The offensive line was banged up. You have a young offensive line that has overachieved all year. They had a terrible game. Fitzpatrick's offensive line is better. He's better. Behind a bad offensive line, look at what Fitzpatrick had to do last year. They were terrible last year, and they spread him out. He lets the ball go within 2 seconds. That's what Fitzpatrick does. I totally get the decision. This is not the Miami Dolphins show. We spent 12 minutes on it. Let's move on. So Zach Taylor does say that Mike Brown, Zach Taylor, and I'm sorry, this is a Facebook user. Zach Taylor and Mike Brown have no clue how to develop Joe Burrow, is what he's saying. He could be right. That was a devastating injury, but he'll be back at some point, I'm sure.
I feel bad for him, honestly. Burrow has all the talent to do something great, and he's going to go to the Bengals that are just going to ruin his career.
Good. They're on their way. They have a good start, especially in typical Bengal fashion. You have this young kid, and he's like balling out. And he looks so good, and once again, they think he's a video game, right? They think they're playing a damn video game where it's a human being back there, and if you let him keep getting hit like that, and you don't manage it, it's crazy. They're not going to the Super Bowl. It's ridiculous. Run the damn ball, and I know Mixon was out, but still, run the ball. Protect the kid a little bit, right? It's crazy. Yeah, because now you jeopardize next year too, because he may not be back till middle of the season next year.
It's bad, the injury, from what I've read.
Yeah,
hey, he tore everything.
Yeah, it's really bad. So let's talk real quick. Dallas Cowboys. Now, George, I know you must be thrilled to death. Yes.
So it's nothing new. I told you this was going to happen. I told you it was the perfect scenario for him. You sat there and told me this is not going to happen. I told you any given Sunday. Have you ever heard it? You said no. I said this is exactly what was going to happen. I don't think they're a much better team. I just think the scenario was set up perfectly. I think they're going to have a tough time against Washington Thursday, and they might still win the stupid division because every team has 3 damn wins. But
I just want to see if you think they're going to the Super Bowl now. That's all.
I don't even want them to win this damn playoffs. I want them to lose and get a decent draft pick, to be honest.
So that they can take what?
They can take a quarterback. I'm hoping they can get Fields.
Really?
Over Dak, huh?
Over Dak.
Dak's gone another year, man. I can't wait that long.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Really? So you think Dak's out for a whole nother year?
I think he's going to miss a whole nother season.
Was dangling. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, if he misses another season, you have to draft somebody, don't you think so?
Yeah,
I think so.
I think you absolutely.
And if you can get that kid Fields from Ohio State, you take him.
Well, I think you got to
rebuild too. I mean, there's no way he goes other than that.
Yeah, you got to rebuild to a certain extent for sure. Okay, so Indianapolis, nobody talks about the Colts. We talk about them a little bit, but the Indianapolis Colts are for real. And I know, George, you're not always right because you hate Phillip Rivers.
Always right. Always right. I used those exact terms last week. For real.
Now. They're balling.
I used those exact terms last week. For real.
What is the weakness of the Indianapolis Colts right now?
The quarterback.
He just beat Aaron Rodgers.
He has his moments, you know that. He has his moments. He can definitely go out there and move the ball, but then he does his stupid, throws the ball away and does interceptions. He still didn't look great in his win. He didn't look that good.
I don't know.
That team. In all fairness, if we're talking about veterans though that go to other teams, he's got to be winning, right? He's doing more for Indy than Brady's doing for Tampa Bay. So
I think I'd take him over Brady right now, if that's the question.
Well, Brady's having trouble in these nighttime primetime games, and
it's too late for the old man. You got to play in the morning.
Brady, is it past his bedtime? Does he, does he need to take some extra Geritol before these night games in order to to perform? He was pretty bad.
I think anybody else, he gets benched last night. I mean, he just looks bad. I don't think there's anything looking good. He's even saying he looks bad. He has to do better. I was telling you guys all this was going to happen. It just happened a little later than I thought.
Yeah, but
I don't think you can bench him for Blaine Gabbert. They don't have anybody else. It's Blaine Gabbert. Come on. Even a bad Tom Brady's better than Gabbert.
Their problem last night is they didn't run the ball. And the coach just gets pass happy, and he just forgets to run the ball. And so I don't know how much of that. I mean, you cannot ask against that defense just to drop back every time. You got to have some balance there.
Because that Rams team is tough, and you know what they do? They do defensively. They intimidate people. You can see them. They manhandle people.
Well, and a couple of the interceptions he threw, he had pressure coming up the middle, which Brady hates. He can't get out of it anymore. He's way too old to sidestep, and he didn't see the safety twice, and he just threw the ball right to him, right? And so, I think that they've won 7 games. They're still in it, but I think the Saints are the cream of the crop of that division, even with Taysom Hill. And that Saint defense is stepping up now. They're healthy. The Saints are a contender.
They might have looked better with Taysom Hill. The kid actually was impressive. I mean, it was a different style offense, but they looked good.
He is Lamar Jackson. Come on.
He's a better Lamar Jackson, which is scary.
He's a fullback Lamar Jackson, and he may throw the ball better. We'll see. I'm not saying he does, but speaking of Lamar Jackson. Oh, man. What happened, Jordan? What happened?
It's not looking good for him. A lot of injuries. Things are kind of falling apart.
Yeah.
They had the easiest strength of schedule at the beginning of the year. I think they started believing their own hype. I think what everybody loved about Lamar Jackson so much in the offseason was before his MVP season, he outworked everybody from all accounts, And I think he won the MVP and he started believing his own hype a little bit. Easiest strength of schedule, went in thinking 16-0. That's what everybody says. And when you do that in the NFL, you're going to start laying eggs. And it doesn't help that everything came together for the Steelers, their division rival. This week it will be very telling to see how they do with Pittsburgh.
I don't know. The Ravens, they're saying there's 15 COVID cases, so I'm not sure it's even going to play off. And if they do, it's going to be a weak team. I mean, I don't see much fight coming out of them.
Jordan, have you figured out yet that real NFL games are not Madden games? Have you figured that one out yet?
Yeah.
Have you? Because
Sure.
The delusion about Lamar Jackson has been crazy, right? You guys and a lot of people.
So mine and everybody else's, though, right? Mine and everybody else's. They did hand him an MVP. All of the experts had him going 16-0. Yeah, you guys hate running quarterbacks, so yeah.
I don't.
And you happen to be right this time, so good job.
Okay. One of our listeners here is saying that teams are simply figuring them out, and I think George and I spoke about this. They figured them out
That's
last
true.
year, and they figured them out. So
they figured them out in the playoffs last year.
So that team's in. Here's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that team's in trouble because they put all their eggs in that basket. They built a whole offense around him. They did everything around Lamar Jackson. And if it doesn't work, what happens? What happens? Is there a real chance that when a year or two Lamar Jackson is not even their quarterback?
I think Lamar Jackson's good. He's just not. He's not what everybody wanted to crown him as. Top 3, top 5. I think he's a work in progress, and he may get better. But he'll hopefully be a Randall Cunningham. Can he be as good as a Randall Cunningham?
Randall could throw the ball better than Lamar, I believe.
I think so too. I mean, but that's his comparison now, right?
Right now, yeah, he could get better. But that you have Thursday night. I believe it's Steelers Ravens, right? But I think half of the Ravens team is going to be out with COVID.
Yeah, there's 3 games Thursday, Thanksgiving. Thursday is always fun, but that's the big one.
The Steelers, for some reason, right now.
Yeah, we said the same thing about the Raiders, though, didn't we? That half the team was out and everybody gave them no chance against the Chiefs. And they look good.
Well, they still had a full week, and there was only 8 of them did play. Only 3 of them sat out at the end. So they did have more of a regular team than this short week, losing 9 guys. They're not going to ever be able to look at tapes for the week. It seems like almost a disadvantage where they should make this game a Sunday game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But
I agree.
think, the Steelers right now, who's going to beat the Steelers? It's not going to be the Ravens. I'm pretty sure the Steelers take care of the Ravens pretty easy again. But can the Steelers
it's pretty easy after this
and go all the way to the Super Bowl? George?
I mean, they could definitely run the table. They don't have much competition. They have a really easy schedule. I've read, they play everybody in the NFC East. They play the Bengals twice. They play the Browns twice. I mean, that's a pretty easy schedule if you think about it. They just had to worry about Tennessee, and they had to worry about the Ravens. And the Ravens were like half of what everybody thought. So it's kind of been an easy game. I would like to see them play the Saints or see them play KC. That would be the matchup everyone wants to see.
We'll see that in the playoffs probably.
Yeah.
I think KC
they have the same schedule as the Ravens.
I think the Titans match up really well against the Steelers as well too. I don't think they can score with Kansas City, but I don't know. It's an interesting year. COVID has changed everything. I would not be surprised if a team did go undefeated this year, but I don't know. There would be an asterisk, I think, there. But of course, why I'm saying that. So, Jordan, can the Steelers go undefeated all the way to the Super Bowl?
I mean, yeah, definitely. They're playing the same schedule as the Ravens are. The only reason why they said the Ravens had the easiest strength of schedule in the league is because everybody expected the Ravens to be better than the Steelers. Well, since the Steelers are better than the Ravens, it's actually the Steelers that have the easiest strength of schedule, right? Because they get to play the Ravens instead of the Steelers, and they can absolutely win out in regular season. Then they get home field advantage in the playoffs, and the question is going to the Super Bowl. Do you like them at home against the Chiefs? I think they could win that. Do you like them at home against the Titans? I do. I think there are certain teams, though, like the Raiders, might give them a run for. Somebody could shock them in the playoffs. I could see it.
Well, nobody's going to want to play the Raiders in the playoffs. They've proven that they're a team that's going to be tough to beat. So with that bully ball style, nobody's going to want to play the Raiders. They're kind of like the Colts. The Raiders and the Colts are very similar. The Colts might have a better defense, and the Raiders might have a better quarterback.
I mean, the Raiders can score points.
There's a better running game.
Well, definitely. I mean, the Raiders can score a lot of points. You're going to have to score with them, and the Chiefs. I mean, I think everybody knew that when Mahomes got the ball with a minute and a half, I was like, okay, Chiefs win, right?
Oh,
but I don't think the Raiders' defense is great. I think if you run the ball against them and control the clock, I think that they can be beaten.
I think they make a lot of mistakes with that rookie Abrams. He's a safety that comes up, thinks he's a linebacker, and even at the end of the game, he came flying up, and Kels ran by him, and that was wide open in the end zone. Abrams is a madman in the backfield, but he needs to stay home more, and that's what's happening. He keeps getting burned, but he's fun to watch. But if the last play of the game where they lost the game, he came flying in and Kels ran by him.
Yeah, it was wide open for an easy touchdown to win the game. Yeah, the Steelers going undefeated. Obviously, there's still going to be some great matchups in the playoffs. Back to the Saints real quick. So do you guys think that Drew Brees being out, Taysom Hill coming in, the Saints are a better team with Taysom Hill to win the Super Bowl? The Saints are going to be in the playoffs. It looks like they'll win the division, but are they a better team in the playoffs with Taysom Hill to actually get to and win the Super Bowl than Drew Brees?
I'm not ready. No. I'm not ready to say they're better yet because Drew Brees is definitely a game controller. I'm not sure how Taysom Hill's going to perform when it comes down pressure situations, and he's going to have to try to win. I mean, this game was pretty much an easy game, and they didn't have too much risk or anything to worry about. So I want to see what happens when he gets a little pressure put on him, when he has to come from behind, and then I'll be interested because I think Brees is probably the best quarterback ever.
It was the Falcons. Right, so
it was the Falcons, and yeah, I don't know that he can come back and win a game the way Brees can. Like kind of the reason why you put Fitz in instead of Tua. Tua was doing great. Maybe in the regular situation, Taysom Hill is doing better here and there. But when you need it, when you have to go 99 yards at the end of the game, you better wish that you had Drew Brees in there to take you down the field. Because we've all seen him do it. We all know he can do it. And I feel the same way with Taysom Hill. He can manage the game all day long, but in the fourth quarter, you're going to want Drew Brees.
Yeah, I think the difference with Taysom Hill, though, is that, we'll see how good of a passer he really is in the next coming weeks if they don't start Winston. We'll see. But he's so big and strong.
They become so much more physical offensively.
Yeah. He's one that he can get outside the pocket and he can run people over and not get hurt. Where Lamar Jackson makes you nervous and other people, smaller quarterbacks, make you nervous. The guy's an absolute beast. So we'll see. To Jordan's point, George and I don't love running quarterbacks. I love mobile quarterbacks, but I love Russell Wilson, but he's mobile. He's not a running quarterback, in my opinion. And so what happened with the Hawks, that was obviously a great game. Are they back? Who wins that division? Who wins the West?
That's still up in the air. I don't know. I wouldn't crown anybody there yet.
Well, I'm asking you who you think is going to win it, though.
The Rams are looking better and better. Every week I'm more impressed with the Rams, with the grit. I think that they can win close and tough games, and I think regardless of who wins that division, the Rams are best suited to make a deep playoff run over the magic of Russell Wilson.
I really love the Rams, but I'm not sold on Goff. He played like shit and they won. I love the defense. I love the team, but I'm not sold on Goff, and they don't have much of a running game for the Rams, so it worries me.
Here's why the Seattle Seahawks are going to win that division is because they wised up. They said, okay, our defense is not that good. What do you do when your defense is not that great? Well, you run the ball.
Control the ball. Control
the clock. That's what they did. And they didn't get in a big shootout with Kyler Murray, and they won the game. You're going to see them do that the rest of the way, and they'll be dangerous if they do that. But relying on Russell Wilson to throw the ball, 40 times a game is not going to win them a Super Bowl. They need to run the ball, control the clock, protect that defense a little bit, and let Russell Wilson make plays when he has to. And he's one of the best in the business of making a play when he needs to make a play, right?
Well, that's been their formula for years, right? They ran more than any other team the last 3 years. And then this year they're like, oh, finally, instead of fixing the offensive line, they're just going to let Russell Wilson rip it. And so they do for the first half of the season, kind of falls apart a little bit, and now they're back to running the ball, but they're doing it behind a really, really bad offensive line with really, really banged up running back core. Yes, you need to run. You have to stay balanced, but at some point with that team, it's either Russell wins you the game or it's over.
But I don't think you're missing the point, though. It doesn't matter. If you run on first down, you get 2 yards. You run on second down, you get 3 yards. Then Russ only has to make a short pass to get a first down. You don't have to be a great running team to win. You just have to run the ball, and you got to protect that defense, right? And you got to
keep them honest.
You have to keep that defense off the field a little bit longer. Keep the game close, and in a close game, then you let him drop back. You spread him out, and you win the game. Then this is what the New England Patriots have done for a long time. Not anymore. Speaking of the Patriots, all right, can we officially say that it's over? They got beat by a bad team, great quarterback, but a bad team. Can we say it's over? Is it over?
No, I mean, they got beat on a short week. I wouldn't count them out yet. They're still gonna come and fight. They're not a good team, but they're not dead.
Will Cam Newton be their quarterback next year?
No, I don't think so. He'll be somewhere though. He'll be somewhere.
Look, they're not a good team, but they're not going to get a top 5 pick either. So, I mean, it's just they're in purgatory for the next as long as they have Bill Belichick, because I don't see him as the tanking type, they're going to be in purgatory. They're going to win 6, 7, 8 games, never draft a good quarterback. It's rough out there. And he's going to believe he can get another Jim in the 6th round, and it's just not going to work for several years until he retires. We'll see what happens. That's just what I'm hoping happens to the Patriots.
We shall see. All right. That's going to do it. George, Gorilla George, what's up? Any final words?
I'm trying to give some free money. I think the bet this Thursday is Dallas on Thanksgiving Thursday to take out Washington. I think that's a free money bet there. Just giving it out since I might not be out on Thursday.
Jordan's frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen in time.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, like, share, all that. As usual, when we talk about lines, they're brought to us by our friends at UWager. Thank them for everything they do to support us, and we will see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving. Spread love, not hate. Peace.
Peace. Enjoy your turkey.